We're not done with debates because I have another one for you, but more about the human part of it. What do you think about the platform engineering vs DevOps fuss? What's that all about? Like, is it, is one replacing the other, or is just semantics here?
Yeah, I mean, I think people that are really good at what they do in this space, they don't really care what the name is. I think when the people are more confused, they need these names almost like crutches, right? Because think about it. If someone told you you're responsible for making sure that development team has a clean, reliable deployment target, and so you would say, you would just draw a line on the whiteboard. What is a deployment target? Where does it start? Maybe it's at the end of your CI/CD pipeline. So you say, great, our team's responsibility starts here, and it backs up on the other side of this line. So we take care of the Linux servers, we take care of the load balancers, IAM, cloud, VPC. That's us because it's in our bucket. And so we're going to use different sets of tools to make that work. Sometimes we may choose a PaaS, like, hey, we don't really need all these layers. We're just going to use something like, I don't know, Cloud Run or Heroku. Or we do need these layers, so we're going to bring in, low-level infrastructure like IaaS, VMs, Kubernetes for containers, you name it. But I think if you understand the area of responsibility, then you kind of know what's in your domain. Now, as a professional, you ask yourself, what tools will help me fulfill that contract, right? Like take care of my things, get the highest SLA possible. Now, you can turn to different communities and say, how do you do it? Mm-hmm. And these could be people also doing the work. Some people find that easier to say, what do the DevOps people do? What do the platform engineers do? You could do that if you want, but I think if you tuck those names away, the responsibility remains. And sometimes I think people don't really want to know the actual answer, right? Because it involves hard work, it involves detailed planning, and it involves real skills. And so instead of getting those and focus on those, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes people take the lazy way out and they just say, we're doing DevOps. And you say, how long have you been doing DevOps? Oh, we've been doing DevOps for 10 years. And you still struggling with CI/CD? You still struggling with like how to get software from binary to the server? Like, I don't know, man. I think you're talking about DevOps a lot, and you're not really figuring out what skill set, people, strategy you actually need. You keep trying to find silver bullets. You're trying to buy this product because you think it's going to solve all the DevOps checkboxes. You're adopting these names as if, you can imagine playing soccer and you're like, hey, we're world champions. Like, no. You're not world champions. You actually have to win.
Yeah.
Before you just start adding titles to the team, right? You can practice, you can play, you can try to build a better team, but you just can't just rub a title on the team and consider that success. And I think I see a little bit too much of that, where people are just saying we're doing a thing without the accountability and without the results.
It's like more like a PowerPoint warriors than in the field, I guess.
Yeah, because I think the work, at least through my career, it's always been the same kind of work. Even the people what people call platform engineering now, and I hope that the new wording, platform engineering, helps people realize that we got to do more than just install Terraform and teach people how to write HCL. Mm-hmm. Maybe as a platform engineer, you start to have more of a product mindset. What product are we building? What experience do we want to give our developers so they can actually ship code as fast as possible? And it's always going to be this trailing indicator. So if you start on day 0, you may have to start with like Kubernetes and asking people to write YAML files. But once you see the YAML files that people are writing, maybe day 2 looks a little bit like we're going to use a Helm chart to create templates so you don't have to worry about the low-level details. Maybe on day 3, you start to say, we don't even need people to even know we're using Helm. We can just tell from a little bit of metadata next to the app what it needs, and the fact that we're using Kubernetes or not doesn't even matter anymore. But I think as a platform engineer, you got to put on that product hat to keep evolving your product. And sometimes the work you do will probably just be the gray area between what a cloud provider has, whether it's like Heroku or Lambda, and the bit of glue that you need to make it work for your particular company. I think as a platform engineer, you need to be prepared sometimes to build it from scratch, from VM up, or just to take an existing platform and then just provide enough of that glue so that it actually works for your team.